Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wind here for the Bigfoot 9-hole cup, a mix of the Sequoia Creek, Maple Bay and the Grimberg slopes. Make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to climb to the next step in your game, you go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link is in the description down below, or you scan the QR code here on the screen. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 2 is going to be a tough one to drop an albatross on, and that's because we're going to have to play with a lot of elevation for the second shot. Par 5s is always tougher to drop than par 4s and par 3s, then in my opinion. Adjust max plus 10, we play with 4.5 bar topspin and 2 bars of left spin. The goal is to get the ball to be staying safely on the fairway. One thing that I would like you to have in mind is that if you do not have the Grizzly level 7 or better, I would suggest to play shorter than what I'm doing here in the video. And the reason for that is that I would rather want to play with a sniper with a better ball guideline than having to play with a Goliath or a Grizzly or a B52 that does not have a good ball guideline. Because if we don't have a good ball guideline, this albatross will be even less possible than what it already is. So we're gonna play 20% elevation and true club distance number. And even if I played with the Goliath here in the video, the info box, I've added the sniper just because the sniper is going to be the better club to play here to maximize the chance for an albatross. Center the ball and hit perfect, and once again, even if we do have a crappy ball guideline, we're still going to have the possibility to get a drop. But hitting a great ball with a Goliath is almost like clicking the forfeit button, because that's gonna be nowhere near a drop here, because a Goliath with its bad accuracy, that's gonna move way left or way right if you do hit a great ball. In the end though, it's gonna be a simple eagle, and that's what matters the most. Hole number 9, and we're gonna play with our quarterback. The reason we want to do that is because power is not that necessary, but what's necessary is curl and also good accuracy, because if we do not have a good accuracy, a great ball might be danger here as we're playing down the right hand side. Adjustment is no elevation and it's maximum distance. I'm using all the right spin that I can. I'm also using 3 bars of top spin. More or less, what can we call that one? We can call that 0.7 ball of a curl outside the adjustment range to the right, and we're bouncing on the fairway, and you can still see that we could need maybe a little bit more curl. There is room, obviously, but I would say a little bit more curl would actually be good. Now we do have a position that is going to require a club with some decent power. I would say if you do have the sniper level 9 or better, always play with a sniper. But if you do not have that, then I would strongly recommend to play with the Horizon instead, to give ourselves a decent ball guideline, but also the power to be able to reach to the spot that we are intended to do without having to use overpower, which obviously is going to be a tricky thing. Maximum distance plus 10, and then I'm centering the ball and doing my best to hit perfect. Obviously, an albatross is never going to be easy to get, but I definitely believe that there is a possibility to drop here. What has to be said though is that hole 9 has always been a difficult hole in terms of getting the speed enough to roll the ball towards the pin without coming in too hot, and that will be the battle for you and your opponents once you play it in the tournament. Sequoia Creek, a par 5, and we are going to go with our first bounce into the rough to roll out on the fairway. Use all the left spin that you can and 4.5 bar top spin. I would say use as maximum 6 bars of top spin. Using more than that, you risk rolling into the rough on the other end of the fairway. The reason I do choose to play this type of play instead of going directly onto the fairway or just to bounce on the fairway on the right and curl it is due to the fact that with a lower level club you don't have 6-7 bars of backspin to land directly on the fairway, and if you're going to curl it, you're going to have to use either a quarterback or the rock, and there is a risk of doing that incorrect, and then you can clip the rough first, and then you won't be reaching for the green in two. So this way is giving you a safe way of locking in the eagle with an outside chance of an albatross, because the albatross is in play. But with playing with lower level clubs such as like this, and not playing with a power 5 ball such as a berserker, the rough bump is not in play. So what I would recommend here is that if you really want to push for the albatross, play with a club such as the Horizon, or maybe a Big Dog or a Cataclysm or something like that, that do have a lot of power, combined with a power 5 ball. If you are not that fast getting an albatross, or you might want to have a chance for it but you're fine with an eagle, play the way I'm doing here on the screen, which is that you're aiming on the fairway before the rough, bouncing over the rough, trying to catch into that groove onto the green. If you're not catching it, you will bounce like that and you won't get the roll down. If you do catch it, you will get the roll down, and then it won't fade as much left as it does there. 10% elevation for the drive, 10% elevation for the second shot. The drive plays max +10. The second shot will be all from medium to maximum distance, depending on what ball and what club you are using. Tough one to drop, but the drop is there. Another par 5 of the Sequoia Creek, and this is a really tough one. Here I'm playing for an eagle only. I will explain the thought process behind pushing for an albatross on the second shot, but it would be just generally, especially when you play with lower level clubs, to lock in the eagle in the safest way possible. 1.5 backspin and 2 right spin using a berserker ball, not so much for the drive, it's for the second shot where we do need the power. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, try to hit perfect. We do want to get the ball to be as far down the fairway possible without rolling into the rough. You can see here we roll and we still have some room there to get a little bit further off if we want to, but this is totally fine. Second shot, play with the wood club that gives you the most power, preferably as well to have at least 5 topspin. I'm using all the topspin I can with the Big Dog level 6, which is 6 bars. Don't use more than that is my recommendation, because the risk is then that you have too much speed and you roll into the rough on the back. Adjust max +10, and the goal here is to have the second bounce into the rough to then roll down onto the green or to the fringe at the back. I don't want to stay short into the rough and then not reach to the green at all. There we do have it. This is a safe way of getting an eagle here. The difficult part with it is that we do not have a ball guideline, which we can get if we play with a maxed out sniper. Then we do have a ball guideline and we can aim for the pin. And then I do recommend to aim a little bit more to the right to give yourself room to attack the pin. But, you know, just to have that said, again, this is, in my opinion, especially with lower level clubs, this is no albatross, this is an eagle, and to just move on. Pretty boring, but that's my thoughts on this par 5 of Sequoia Creek. For hole number 9, there is tons of value in going to the left side, so please try to avoid playing on the right hand side, because left hand side offers opportunity for an albatross, but right hand side offers only a way of playing down for an eagle. I'm playing with a katana ball here, as we don't really need more power. I would say that I would keep the katana even in headwind, but use a little bit of overpower to compensate for the less power. 4.5 bar top spin and 3 left spin. Adjustment is max +10. We push up to max, then I'm using 2 rings of overpower here to push the ball even further down the fairway. If you do have a club that can give you 6 bars of topspin, then use that, and you don't have to use any overpower at all. Because the only reason we're using overpower is because we only have 4.5 bar topspin on our drive. Second shot, we're gonna play with our sniper. This due to the great ball guideline, and here you have to have a decision to make. Either you play the rough bump, and the rough bump is going to be the best way to get a drop on, but it's obviously gonna be the way riskier version as well on this hole. So you can either go for the rough bump, or you can play just as normal on the fairway on the left and still have a chance for an albatross, just not as good. So as as the play on the left, bouncing on the fairway, is in my opinion a little bit of a no-brainer, because it is such an open fairway and all of us will be getting an eagle even if we do have a very bad adjustment. But the rough bump, I think there is value to display just for those of you that do want to take a little bit more aggressive route, or at least have in the back of your mind that there is an aggressive way, a more aggressive way to play this hole. Bouncing into the rough, and it rolls down the fairway, and we're getting this one right at pin for a beautiful albatross here in hole number 9. 10% elevation, true club distance number. Hole number 6, and this is gonna be probably the most boring of the Grönberg slopes here, as we are looking to just secure the eagle. Here you can see that I'm suggesting the extra mile in the info box to the right. I want to start with that one, as playing with extra mile, Thor's Hammer or Apocalypse that do have at least 6 bars of topspin is going to be better than playing with the big topper from a lower level. But if extra mile, if you have an extra mile that only have 4.5 bar topspin, for an example, then the big topper is gonna be the better club due to more topspin, because the further up we get on the fairway here with the drive, the better it's going to be for the second shot. And once again, we are only playing this one for an eagle, as this hole is positioned in a very weird way, which I can, or let's say like this, I can promise you that there will be more birdies on this hole than there will be albatrosses when we summarize this tournament. So we're playing it safe, taking our eagle, and not trying to risk anything here, or at least risk as little as possible. The big dog or cataclysm or any other wood club or that gives you power, so choose the wood club with the most power possible to get yourself safely to green without having to go with a lot of overpower. 10% elevation for the second shot, and if we are in max distance, which we are here, we're gonna play it max distance number as well. 3/4 of a ball in curl to the left, 2 bars of left spin. The more left spin you have, the less curl you're gonna be needed to use. And you can see here, we're playing the ball down to the green, and even though we are kind of close, the albatross is not to be expected here. Take the eagle and be done with it. For hole number 5, here I would say that it's going to be crucial to push this drive hard if we do have headwind. Meaning with that is that I would like to go with max overpower here to land on the fairway island on the left. Because if you are laying up on the right hand side, you have no chance whatsoever to reach for the green in 2. And then that's just going to be a waste of ball and waste of your time. So max overpower with half a ball of left curl, getting it over to the pad. We do want to reach to be as close to the rough line possible, because the closer we are, the better it's going to be on the second shot. Those that do have the possibility to play with a berserker ball, please do that, because then you will have power 5 and then you will have a much easier second shot. Now, as we do have headwind and I'm playing with sniper, even though sniper is in an okay level, as level 7 for being a rookie level account, you can still see that I couldn't really reach towards the green anyway, or not even doing a rough bump. So what I would recommend is to play with a wood club, with a wood club that do have more power, such as the big dog or even the cataclysm, if that is a club that you do possess. Because now with the sniper, I'm playing myself safely up, and the goal was to use the hill to fall back towards the pin for a simple putt. But even if I am there on the fringe, it's still going to be a simple way of getting the eagle. What to have in mind here is that this is a display of headwind. If we do have a tailwind or a crosswind, obviously the second shot will be much easier and it will give you a look for the albatross. Unfortunately, I do not have a video for that, but it's something to be worth having in mind. So this is only going to be an eagle and only if you do not have the possibility to play with a power 5 ball, nor that you do have the clubs to reach on the second shot. Hole number 2 is a tough par 5, and here I would recommend to play with the quarterback, and I'm playing this one from NMT, and then moving 1 ring to the right. I'm using 3 top spin and 2 left spin to have the ball guideline to point straight down the fairway into that little gap, not gap, but into the more narrow part of the fairway at the top. maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, then try to hit perfect. I'm using a Titan ball here to ensure that if I would be rolling short, I will still have enough power on the second shot to be able to attack the pin. I would strongly advise you to not try to blast this ball over the water, because that will most likely not work, and even if you would manage to do that, you will still have the same type of distance towards the pin as you would have otherwise, and that's, I mean, then it just becomes a stupid decision. Second shot, either play with a sniper level 8 or better, and I don't have sniper level 8 or better here, or you do play with a horizon to give yourself the power, but still having a decent ball guideline. Using 1.5 bar topspin, you can see that I'm playing, 1.8 topspin, and you can see that I'm playing a very aggressive line here, meaning that I'm looking to have the second bounce into the rough to roll up towards the pin. And frankly, this is the only way to drop this shot from distance here. So if you're not interested in attacking for the albatross, use the more wider fairway on the right, use backspin and curl it onto the green to give yourself a safe eagle. But here in this playthrough, I wanted to have every hole to give at least a look at the albatross, even though it might not be dropping in this specific video. They will bounce into rough, the ball rolls out, we're coming with a very good speed, just being a little bit too much to the right there, which is obviously very unfortunate here on hole number 2. A tough one to get an albatross on, but with the shot already displayed, it is makeable. Sequoia Creek, another par 5, and we are going to see ourselves doing a rough bump out on the fairway. The reason we're doing a rough bump out here is to try to control the distance and not roll too far, because if we do roll too far on the second fairway, we will be covered by a big sequoia tree, and that's going to be just eagle and only from there. But if being smart and bouncing into the rough and push the ball as far right that we can, we then have an open chance for an albatross, which is tough, but it is makeable. We are also from here giving us a chance to play with a sniper instead of having to play with a big dog, which then has worse accuracy and also has a worse ball guideline. Maximum distance plus 20 of T, and I'm playing with a power 5 ball to make sure that me with a lower level sniper, only sniper 7, can still play with sniper from distance on the second shot. If you do play with a sniper 9 or sniper 10, a power 3 ball is just enough, and I would say if having tailwind, I do think a power 3 ball in this situation would be just fine as well. It would be the drive that might need a little bit of overpower, but second shot will be fine. So I'm bouncing on the beginning part of the fairway over the bunker, leaving the ball guideline short when there's a tailwind, because we will be having an extended ball guideline to be needed to be adapted for. However though, when we do have a tailwind like this, the ball will not be pushed as much left as we may think. So in this situation, we would be better off having to do an offset to aim more left of pin. Obviously those are just details and something that could be good to have in mind when you play in tour play or in tournament, but it's the reason why I'm missing on the right hand side here. However though, perfect speed, even though we are aiming very short of pin, but that is once again due to the extended ball guideline. Tough but makeable albatross on this hole. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various win for the Bigfoot 9-hole cup. A 9-hole cup with just par 5s. Make sure to take the next step in your game by going to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. You do have the link in the description down below, or you can just scan the QR code here on the screen. Sign up for as little as $2.50. Thank you so much for watching, and a good luck in your Golf Clash game.